What's cooler than a stealthy 340i? Whoa. Special delivery. So while one S55 leaves us, there's another one waiting outside. This has to be the ultimate sleeper. The truth about AJ's car is doubts. So AJ is back with his sleeper of a car. Mr. Sleeper runs on Instagram. NVM 520R turbocharger with an NVM intake, high flow downpipe, full Scorpion exhaust and an NVM charge pipe on there. It is a pretty much track focused kind of sleeper of a car. It's got Bilstein B16 coilovers, Tarox F2000 discs with Corsa pads. This car's been to the Nürburgring and back. You've probably seen it on our Nürburgring vlog. I've kind of baited him out because everyone thought he was on stock turbo, but he does have a 520R. Sorry, Malik.
Yeah, man, I'm the Mal, yeah.
So we thought it was a pretty cool build already, but today we're going to make it even cooler. So today we are fitting a Do88 Intake manifold to this 340i, same as that what we fitted to the E46 B58 Touring project, although this one does quite need it. When going stage 3, the standard core does start to kind of heat soak, especially when sitting in traffic, for example at Santa Pod or just general traffic day to day. The car actually made 523 brake horsepower and 754 Newton meters of torque, so it was a pretty healthy setup. But the beauty of the Do88 Intake manifold is it allows for port injection or port meth. For this setup, we will be going port meth at a later date, but I want to kind of see at this sort of power as to what difference this intake manifold actually makes. So we've got the data log from before. We'll get it fitted and we'll get some data logs after and see the actual intake temperature reduction and how much it reduces by in order for it to make more power. Don't forget cooler air is denser air and makes more power in delta form. Also today we have San's S55 M3 competition in for NVM stage 2 mapping. It's already got an equal length mid pipe on there. We're going to fit a set of high flow down pipes, unlock the ECU and stick it on the dyno. I do like an M2 comp, especially with this lightweight CS bonnet. Looks absolutely amazing. Look at the carbon brief. It's like OEM. Is this an OEM bonnet? Looks sick. But yeah, we did do an M2 comp project a couple of years ago. I'll leave a link to a playlist up there so you can see the kind of development work that went behind it. We kind of referenced the M4 competition ECU software to the M2 comp because obviously they're slightly detuned from factory, and then we obviously carried out the tuning, the draggies and all of that stuff. But since then we've done so much more development with hybrid turbos, meth injection. So yeah, I feel like we need another S55 in the fleet. Maybe a single turbo, maybe in a 3-door hatchback. What do you reckon? So while the car was here, we gave it a full inspection and diagnostics, and we noticed there is a tamper code in the ECU, so it has been manipulated before, so we'll have to do a backup for that. So we're going to bench back up the ECU because of that tamper code on the diagnostics. Once we've got that, we can go through the actual code, see if it's been manipulated or modified at all, and then apply our ECU unlock patch, and then we can read and write via OBD. So on the dyno, we don't have to keep taking the charge cooler out. It's funny because when the S55 first come out, the M3, M4, every time we changed the calibration, charge cooler needed to move out of the way, ECU needed to be plugged. It was crazy, come to think of it, but now we've got the unlock and OBD procedure. It just makes life so much easier. But yeah, let's have a look. Now, when referencing an ECU we've done before, it does look like the bootloader has been manipulated, but it's not being done correctly, hence why you get that tamper code. But yeah, we'll apply a patch, load it back onto the ECU and start our calibration. So the car will strap down to the dyno, we'll do some baseline runs, but we can't do a full sweep without loading on a patch for the ECU to turn off certain switches for the exhaust modifications. Once that's done, we can do a full sweep and see if it's a healthy car. The last time this car was serviced was about 20,000 miles ago, so that could have an effect today, but we'll continue and see what happens. So that's good to see. 427 brake horsepower, 609 newton meters of torque as a base. Obviously the downpipes and the high flow mid pipe makes a huge difference to the way the boost comes in. It's also got active valve control via these valves, so you can go from quiet to loud, which is really cool. Although we do control it via the sport button as well, so it's nice to have that override. But yeah, we'll start off kind of 1.3, 1.4 bar, see what we can achieve and take it up incrementally and see what it does. Well, that's good to see. 515 brake horsepower and just over 800 newton meters of torque. I'm a fond believer to save the crank hub on the original crank hub. You have to limit the torque at the red line and also reduce the amount of RPM allowed too. Obviously in the manual mode, you could easily shift it into the wrong gear and that can overspin massively, creating loads of torque at the high end of the RPM. So I might put a torque cap in there, but there's a few more horsepower to be had at the top because I like these about the 520 mark. But yeah, nice smooth taper is key to making these drivable. This is not a draggy car. This is not a quarter mile king. It's an NVM Stage 2 everyday usable power. And there we have it, guys. Final results: 528 brake horsepower, 800 newton meters of torque. Absolute savage for such simple mods. High flow downpipe, high flow mid pipe, absolute savage. And boost is tapered as well, so it should drive really well on the road. So while one S55 leaves us, there's another one waiting outside. So yes, San Marino Blue F80 M3 in today for some upgrades, specifically our S55 aluminium charge pipe upgrade. Now the S55 engines are known for snapping charge pipes because they're made of plastic, and as they wear and tear and get older, they can fracture quite easily. The aluminium charge pipes are a one-piece mandrel pipe in itself, engraved with our logos, and has 1/8 MPT bungs there for meth integration. It also comes with a J pipe with a seal and a new clip, so if your original one has broken and popped off, you don't have to buy one from a dealer, and it's got another meth port there too. It utilizes the OEM silicon coupler to the charge cooler, and the inlet to the charge cooler comes with brand new silicon extended hoses to work too. But also, we have our infamous S55 intakes. Now I know the internet is going to say out there, intake don't make a difference to S55s. They do when they make a lot of noise, especially spoolie noises. You do get a bit of heat soak, but I'll be honest with you, once you start driving, the intake temperatures do drop down. I mean, for the price that you pay for these and the joy you get out of the sound and throttle response is absolutely amazing in comparison to some carbon fiber fanciness that costs 10 times the price of these. And that's one of the intakes off the car. You can see the airflow would come in through here, has to do a full 90 degrees before it can go down the inlet tract down to the turbocharger itself. So when you replace it with an open cone filter, you've got maximum airflow constantly around, on and off throttle. It's not always about peak gains. And yes, like I said, heat soak is a thing of the past with advanced charge cooler systems. So let's get these fitted and see what it sounds like. So you can see the original charge pipe now off the car. You can see it's made out of plastic. It is pancaked as well, so it's not really efficient for flow, and it kind of fails at this plastic seam here, which is known for fracture, as well as up here at these clips too. But yeah, the aluminium in construction, you can see the difference there. Mandrel bent one piece aluminium tube with a CNC welded coupler. You do have to transfer the silicone seal inside, sorry, the little rubber seal inside over to the new one. But yeah, we'll get these fitted and the intake fitted and see what it sounds like. So the charge pipes and intake pipes have now been fitted to this car. This car's actually got that set hybrid turbos on there, so you might see it on a later video, but let's have a listen. They sound absolutely immense. I'll leave a link down below to both the charge pipes and the intakes. But let's get back to some B58s. So that's really good to see. 523 brake horsepower, 791 newton meters of torque. This is on the same calibration as previously, but the lower intake temperatures are actually equating to more power because of denser air. So I'm going to turn it up a little and see how much we're limited by. We are knock limited on 99 run fuel with any sort of hybrid turbo, but let's turn it up. See there the final results with a bit of a tweak to the map to equate for the lower intake temperatures. We've got a 15 horsepower gain from 2,750 to all the way to 5,500 RPM. Although peak hasn't changed much, peak torque has risen 25 newton meters throughout the rev range. So yes, intake temperature reductions makes a huge difference. So we are going to road test this a bit later on today. There's a few things we do need to check on the road with regards to torque ramping and actual torque output from the gearbox. But we've got another car that we need to sort out first. Also today we have this BMW M140i 6-speed manual car in for NVM Stage 2 mapping. If you didn't see the last episode, we tuned Mike's 6-speed manual to Stage 3 with a 520R. I'll leave a link up there for you guys to go check that out. But yes, this car has been tuned elsewhere by a well-known tuner. I say tuner, but these guys are really good at marketing. Apart from that, they're not good at anything else. But we'll do a full BMW update, wipe that ECU clean, start a fresh calibration. It has got a high flow sports cat and a double res delete, no other modifications. I do kind of always stress people do opt for the TU pump when going to this sort of power level, but let's get it going. Whoa. Special delivery.
Nabs, what is this box?
This is a special delivery from our mate Brian over on the other side of the pond. This is a bit of kit for our G42. These make 330 to 340 brake horsepower stock, and it's just made under 360 brake horsepower, 557 newton meters of torque. I don't know how these people are getting away with tuning B58s. I have no idea. But we'll do a full BMW update, wipe off this crap, and start a proper Stage 2. So that's back on factory calibration, and it's ran 343 brake horsepower, 546 newton meters of torque. Now we get tuning. final results for this BMW M140i 6-speed manual on its original clutch, which these kind of rated to about 720 newton meters of torque from factory. But yeah, 446 brake horsepower, 668 newton meters of torque. I have put a cap in there at 670, and I've turned off all the overboost as well, so it will never go over that torque value. Happy days. So quick road test on this, just to make sure what we see on the dyno is the same on the road, and we've got a road tune to kind of finalise on the sleeper. So data log wise, I mean, intake temperatures, we're seeing a 10-degree increase from the start of the pull right to the end, whereas on the stock intake manifold, we're seeing a 25-degree increase at the same sort of boost levels. Obviously, I have tweaked it a little for a bit more boost because we have that denser air, but generally, I think it's a savage upgrade. This has to be the ultimate sleeper, innit? From the outside, it almost looks stock. Yes, the F2000 brake discs are visible. Yes, it's lowered. Yes, it has a Scorpion, but it's very subtle with almost 540 brake horsepower and 800 newton meters of torque. Do you know what that feels like? 800 newton meters of torque. It's a handful. It's an actual handful, mate. I used to say the 335Ds were the best dailies because of that torque surge, but you can get it in a 520R, in a B58. Oh. So I hope everyone enjoyed today's vlog. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, smash that thumbs up button, and yeah, the truth about AJ's car is out.
Don't matter if you cars for the road or tracks. Mexico on the lanes, or Dunnington doing up laps. Car man, I got maps, doing up maps. Maximum power, cars get gapped. They got tuners, we got tuners, but they're tuners a load of. Man got the map, what kind of map? Best boat map, fastest lap. Zoom in past, don't watch how big man map. 3 maps, take a passenger seat, watch a man collapse. Foot to the floor, rev to the max. See him come through like axe. All you see is flames, all you hear is bullets and bats. He's doing it well, he's doing it right, and they can't do it like man. NV Motorsport, it's in the game. Gang.